who was the antichrist? Boy, a lot of people thought it was Napoleon. Some people said, oh no, it was Adolf Hitler. Some people think it's Bill Clinton. Now you're getting close, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know that. Revelation chapter 13 says, he causeth all, this is Satan doing this in chapter 13, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. It says a mark in, not on. It's a mark in the right hand or in their forehead. I'm one of those guys who's a Bible believer. Every word is there for a reason, and it's important. And God didn't make any mistakes. In 1972, the barcode was developed. What they decided was that a computer can only recount to 1, 0, 1, and then you got to start over again. 0, 1, 0, 1. That's all the farther a computer can count. It only counts in zeros and ones. It's like an on switch or an off switch. So to make a letter A of the alphabet, they decided, okay, let's encode everything on the keyboard with zeros and ones. Binary code. So they said, okay, the letter A is going to be 1, 1, or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm making this up. Okay, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. And they gave it 8 bits of information. Is it 8 bits make a byte or 8 bytes make a bit? Whichever it is. 8 bits make a byte. I think that's right, but I don't know. Each one is called a bit of information. 8 of them together is called a byte. So your computer stores megabytes, right? Megabyte is a million bytes of information, which would be 8 million bits of information. A bit is simply a 0 or a 1. That's all computers read. So every number and every letter and every keystroke on your computer was given a binary code. Then they learned that a laser shining across this, if it's a black line or a white line, can read it. So the laser shines across the barcode when you scan stuff at the store, beep, reads all those black lines and white lines, translates it into numbers, which translates it into the computer into a price. Oh, you just bought toothpaste, you know, $1.29. Beep, thank you. I mean, it does it like lightning, of course, you know, today. But this was all 1972. This was developed. It may be pure coincidence, and I sure don't know if this is true or not, but this is just a reasonable theory. The number 6, I want you to notice there are 3 different ways it can be made. And they did this for a long, complicated reason. Some of the numbers have only 2 possible ways to make it. Others have 3 possible ways to make it. The fat black line is simply several black lines together. It may be 3 black lines. A black line represents a number 1. A white line represents a number 0 to the computer. So when the laser reads black, it counts it as a 1. If it gets 4 of them together, it counts 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. If it gets a wide white line, it'll just count it as, you know, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 until it runs into something black, and then it counts it as a 1. It's maybe pure coincidence, but it is interesting. They chose as the barcode the first 2 sets of lines is the exact same configuration as the number 6. Now, I know full well these are just guard bars, okay? In the center there are 2 guard bars, and at the end there are 2 guard bars. But it is an interesting coincidence that it's 2 skinny lines with a single white space between, which is the binary code for 6. Here are the binary codes in computer language. For instance, a 0 on the upper left-hand side there can be written as a, let me get my glasses on here. That's awful, you know. 0 can be written as 0001101. That is 8 bits of information. Or it can be written as 1110010. Okay, which is, I think, the exact opposite. It's not the exact opposite? No, it's not. Okay, the last 2 are different. There's probably a long, complicated reason for why they have 2 or even 3 different ways to make some of the numbers. And this goes into what the computers need to read and understand. The number 6, top of the right-hand side, can be written as a 010111111 or 1010000. Anyway, it ends up with 2 black lines with a single white line in between. And that is what they chose to be the guard bar. Every barcode you get, unless it's a personal barcode for like a library might have their own barcode to use, and they don't use the international barcode. Okay, but the universal UPC, Universal Purchasing Code, or what is it? Universal Product Code. Yeah, Universal Product Code (UPC) symbol has 2 skinny lines at the front, 2 skinny lines in the middle, which tells the computer to switch and read the other way to write it. Okay, so there's 2 ways to write a 6. If you happen to see a 6 in a UPC code, on one side it'll be written with one way, the other side it'll be written the other way. Apparently what this does, the computer scans this, and the first half of the code tells the computer something about this product, what country it's made in, what factory, what state, or whatever. Okay, each factory might be given a code. Okay, your factory number, you know, XYZ, whatever. On the right side, it's for the individual product. So when it scans this thing, it will say, beep, book made in, you know, wherever it's made, what country, what city, and this is the name of the book. And then the store owner at that time has the opportunity to program in the last 5 numbers only. How much do you want it to cost? You know, he cannot change where it's made. The first half of the code is he cannot alter. But he can tell his computer, when you read this number, give it this price tag or something. Okay. Years ago, some of the barcodes came out and they had an F and an H underneath. sideways. Maybe pure coincidence, but some people said, wow, this could be standing for forehead or hand. And the UPC code may indeed be the mark of the beast. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's still certainly a reasonable possibility. But microchips now are available, which use the same technology, much more advanced in 30 years, to encode a number. I have in my wallet, if I can find it here, here we go, one of the microchips, about the size of a grain of rice. Commander, does that show up if you zoom in on that? Little bitty microchip. I'll put it against my shirt here. Little microchip about the size of a grain of rice. They're about $4 to $5 a piece. We're going to order a bunch of them and then print up a little color card and punch the card out and laminate them in the card and offer them maybe for $10 or something by the time we get done all that work to it. So people can carry one in their wallet just to show what may indeed be the mark of the beast or the forerunner to it. These little chips, there's a special needle that is called the number 12 gauge needle that will inject this under your skin. Very simple procedure. Here's a dog being injected with a needle. It's interesting. This is a Sunday school quarterly telling people, wow, isn't this great? You should go get your pet injected with a chip. If he's ever lost, he can be found. Well, yeah, that may be great to find your pet. I'm not against finding people's pets. But I think it's conditioning the mind to accept this technology. You might want to get hold of Carl Sanders, who has lots of information, Trumpet Ministries. Carl claims he is one of the guys who helped develop the chip. He was involved in the development of this chip. And he goes around and speaks on that. His website, his email, shofar, which I forget what it stands for, some Hebrew phrase, SHO-PHAR @trumpetmen.org. Dean Martin here in Pensacola, here's his phone number, Pensacola 850-455-5011. He is really keeping up on this smart card technology and has a mountain of information on it. Were any of you here when he came to our staff meeting? And I asked him to come to a demonstration for our staff here at CSE. He set up his laptop computer, plugged a little thing in it that was about half the size of this book. He said, Brother Hovind, this is a barcode, this is a chip reader. Watch this. He took a microchip, stuck it under his arm, and walked across the room, past the computer. When he got within about 4 feet, I think it was, all of a sudden, beep, up on the screen came his name, address, social security number, birth date, phone number, everything. I said, is all that in the chip? He said, no. All that's in the chip is a code that is already in the database. Each person is assigned a code. Okay, you are, 7VXTB49 or something. And that is your chip. And then that chip simply activates, it's powered by radio waves from the sensor. It does not have a battery in it, it doesn't do anything. But if a certain radio signal hits it, it'll respond, it'll energize it and send back, this is my number. Beep, hello, you just found, XYZ, ABC, whatever. So that is all programmed in the computer. And all of this is simply an identifying chip. Very fascinating that this kind of technology is here, folks, right now. You can order the microchips. You can find someone, if they have a chip in them, there's a website, prodgenius.com, and they have a satellite system. You can get a chip put in your car, and if your car is ever stolen, you pay 10 or 20 bucks or whatever, they will activate the satellites to look for that number. And they use, global positioning, your car is right here. That can be done now. Next, very simple, obvious next step is, hey, let's put the chip in everybody's head. Or in their hand. So I think we're going to see that coming soon. Here's a guy, scientist in the UK, I believe, who had a chip put in his arm and had his whole house computerized. All he had to do was walk into the room and the lights would come on and say, good morning, Mr. Whatever his name is here, Kevin Warwick. Good morning, Professor Warwick. When he walks, he had a program, when he walks past a certain place, it turns on the coffee pot. By the time he's ready, by the time he gets there, it's ready for him. When he leaves the house, it automatically shuts off all the lights. Real cool. However, anybody who's keeping track of all this can figure out everything you've ever done for the last few hours or for the last few weeks or the last few years. No more privacy. That's going to be the danger. Part of Carl Sanders' presentation is this, where he goes through the Greek words for mark, for instance, and he gives the Greek character there. This is from Strong's or Young's or Cruden's, one of the concordances. But it's the number 5480, Charagma, however you pronounce that, Charagma, from the same as 5482, a scratch or etching. Anybody know how they make computer chips? They etch into silicon, don't they? A stamp as a badge of servitude, or a sculptured figure, a statue, a graven mark. Next one, character from the same as 5482, a graver, the tool of the person, engraving, the figure stamped, an exact copy of, representation, the express image. As you read this, you start to think, these are the words used in the Revelation chapter 13 there, is the, I think it's probably Strong's. The last one, C-H-A-R-A-X, to sharpen, to a point, akin to 1125, to the idea of scratching, a stake, palisade or rampart, military mound. The chip is engraved silicone, etched silicone, and it is pierced in and put under the skin. Part of the microchip has a little, I think, a Teflon or some kind of coating on one end, so that as soon as it's put in your skin, your body begins to grow and attach to it and sticks it in place so it doesn't move around. Otherwise, it would migrate around your body with the blood flow, okay? So all of the Greek words, apparently, certainly, if someone's looking for this, could interpret to mean this is talking about a computer chip put in the body. Anyway, there's Kevin Warwick with his plan to become one with his computer. And I'm sure it'll solve all sorts of problems. It'll cause one big one, though. No privacy.